Rama Kandra is one of the characters that we thought was not so important as, let's say, Seraph. But after delving deeper into his story, we made a revelation. You see, we have a theory that without him, Neo would have never survived and joined the Resistance. We believe that Rama's first appearance wasn't in Matrix Reloaded, but in the first Matrix movie. How and where is he in the movie? Let's find out. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Before we begin today's video, we would like to invite you to visit the Street Fighter Verse, a channel dedicated to everything Street Fighter. Would you like to know what is the Hadouken, or if Bison has been dead the entire time? Then please visit Street Fighter Verse. Link to the channel in the description below. To understand this theory, we must first recap Rama Kandra's role in the story. The first time we saw Rama, he was at the Merovingians' restaurant negotiating Sati's transportation into the Matrix. He loves his daughter, and so he was willing to risk meeting the leader of the exiles. Of course, there must be a payment for the Merovingian services, and the Frenchman knew Rama's connection to the Oracle. We'll talk about this connection later. The Merovingian knows that Rama can get him the termination code to the Oracle's shell. It was the Frenchman's opportunity to finally destroy her. But why would this humble program have access to such a dangerous code that can kill the Oracle? Well, it's in Rama's job description.
Your programs?
Oh yes. I am the power plant systems manager for recycling operations.
Rama is in charge of the recycling process of the power plants. This process begins when the signal of a person connected to the simulation is interrupted. The human remains are then recycled.
Watch them liquefy the dead so they could be fed intravenously to the living.
Rama has access to the signal information of the humans and their shells, and possibly the shells of the programs. Therefore, he can create a shell termination code and give it to the Merovingian because he has access to the humans and programs' shells. He can see them and analyze them. That is how Rama knew that Neo was in love.
I see that you are in love.
Rama is also a highly empathetic program. He had a minor disagreement with his wife because Rama wanted to comfort Neo.
Is that what you're doing here?
Rama, please.
I do not want to be cruel, Kamala. He may never see another face for the rest of his life.
I'm sorry. You don't have to answer that question.
This program is willing to do whatever it takes to protect his family. But what if his humane traits are not organic, so to speak? What if Rama was purposely designed for a specific purpose? That purpose being to create Sati and bring her to the Matrix. If the Oracle wanted a creation like Sati, surely she somehow modified Rama and Kamala to give birth to this little girl. But what if he had another purpose? What if Rama had to help Neo in the real world? As we've mentioned earlier, Rama is the recycling manager. That is, he is in charge of the system process that activates when a human is disconnected from the Matrix. Do you remember the function of the red pill?
The pill you took is part of a trace program. It's designed to disrupt your input-output carrier signal so we can pinpoint your location.
When Neo drank the red pill, the signal his body sends to his pod saying that he is in the system was cut. Who received this notification that the signal was cut? Rama. Let's stop for a moment to analyze what happens after Neo breaks out of the pod. The robot sees that Neo is alive, so instead of reconnecting the host or killing him, the machine simply lets Neo get flushed out of the pod, alive. There is a big possibility that this robot is Rama Kandra in the real world. If his job is to recycle the dead bodies of the power plants, this robot that spared Neo's life is likely him. After all, the robot didn't hurt or kill him. It just stared at Neo, disconnected his head jack, and let him go. But this is not the only clue we have that this robot could be Rama Kandra. Rama and the Oracle know each other.
Who knows such things? Only the Oracle.
You know the Oracle.
Everyone knows the Oracle. I consulted with her before I met with the Frenchman. She promised she would look after Sati after we said goodbye.
The Oracle even called Rama and his family trusted friends.
2 programs that I trusted, so the termination code of my original shell to the Merovingian.
The Oracle might have been preparing Rama for the moment when Neo awakens in the real world. She needed him to help Neo, and perhaps all the red pills escape the power plant alive. It's because of Rama that the red pills can be saved. Another clue is that Sati knows who Neo is.
My name is Sati. Your name is Neo. My papa says you're not supposed to be here. He says you must be lost. Are you lost, Neo?
Rama's family knows who Neo is, and as the Keymaker once alluded to,
I know because I must know. It is my purpose. It is the reason I'm here. The same reason we're all here.
perhaps the stories of Rama, Kandra, and Neo are more intertwined than we thought. But even if this robot is not Rama, it still cannot be denied that it was he who received the signal from Neo's pod. This ties the 2 characters together in a way that we hadn't thought of before. That is, until now. The Oracle could have many friends in and out of the Matrix simulation. Rama Kandra's story is about the individuality of the machines, of how programs can fall in love and create new programs, just like humans. If you are a long-time watcher of this channel, then you would know that love is a frequent topic of discussion. The love between the characters, or of how the Oracle has used love over and over again as a weapon against the machines. If our theory is in any way true, Rama and Kamala could have been modified by the Oracle to later be used to help Neo and create Sati. But do you agree? Is Rama Kandra the machine that disconnected Neo from the power plant? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.